Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Grid Legends VR. And it should be pretty obvious that this isn't Grid Legends VR. This is Grid Legends non-VR. This is the pancake version. But I wanted to show gameplay because I wanted to show that this is actually a good looking game. I played this on PC, non-VR, pancake, and no, this is a fun arcade racing game. Some people have mentioned sim, but I just don't see sim. There are some sim elements to this game. You know, you can fine-tune your vehicle. You know, there's like a bunch of different tracks, a bunch of different customizations that you can make, and you can definitely make it somewhat sim-like depending on what options you put. But this is a arcade racing game, and it definitely has a lot of things in common with the Quest version of this game. Just like the Quest version, there's a lot of different customizations, there's a lot of different gameplay modes, and so this game has hours and hours of content, so many different cars, many different game modes, many different customizations, you know, day, night, weather, it's all there. And trying to port this game to the Quest must have been a very difficult process. And I honestly believe this port could have been made into a good VR experience on the Quest. But that's the problem. It is not a good experience on the Quest. And I do not recommend the Quest version because this is the Quest version. This is what happens when you try to select any online mode right now. And look what happens when I try to do that. And you see the game crash there. That's the Quest version right now. This is the Quest version. This is what happens when you try to join Quick Race. Again, any online mode does not work. This is what works. You can go into either the single player story or the career mode, or you can customize an offline mode. And for single player, you can pretty much still play all the content that's available for Grid Legends. And there is a lot there. There is a lot there to enjoy. And this is on the Quest 3. And this is about as good as I could get it to look. I did increase the resolution in order to get the best possible visuals. But this doesn't pass the smell test for me. And what I mean by that is I would not recommend this game to anyone that I call a friend or family member. And I would not play this over the non-VR version. So it does not pass the smell test for me. These visuals are outdated for 2024 VR. Keep in mind, you know, most Quest players are on the Quest 2 or on the Quest 3, and the Quest 3 is on the rise. Yet these visuals are not Quest 3 visuals. Even with the Quest 3 improvements, these are not Quest 3 visuals. These kind of look like Quest 1 visuals ported for the Quest 2, if I'm being honest. But these visuals are not pleasant to look at. There's many issues, you know, besides the low polygon count, besides the visual downgrade, there's just a lot of visual glitches. Like you notice in this nighttime mode, the light is only coming from my vehicle. There's no light coming from the other vehicles. That's just strange. And later on, you'll see video of the rain. The rain looks bad, and you'll see the tires on the back of the vehicles. They're like completely transparent. You can't see them. So there's lots of visual glitches on top of the downgraded visual. So it's not just that the visuals are bad. On top of that, there's just a lot of visual glitches as well. It makes racing lose immersion. So the number one thing about VR, the reason why I love VR, is because of immersion. You get to be behind the wheel of a vehicle racing in racetracks all over the world. Now that's exciting. As a PC VR person, I admit I'm kind of biased here because I played many VR racers, from Dirt Rally to Project Cars to Assetto Corsa, and I'm used to much better. And I tried my hardest to not be overcritical of this game, but my initial reaction to playing this game, from buying this game, because I did buy this game with my own money, is wow, this is an ugly looking game. I don't enjoy looking at this game. Now, the gameplay is not bad. So I want to emphasize that. The gameplay is pretty similar to Grid Legends PC non-VR pancake version. This is a very arcade game. You'll see here, like, I crash into cars and I bounce off them. These aren't realistic physics, and honestly, this is not usually the type of game that I enjoy, just because it's arcade in a lot of ways, but it doesn't go full arcade. I think it tries to go for a little bit of sim, and I think that's where they messed up, because it's not sim. There's nothing sim about this game. The look and feel of the vehicles, it just doesn't feel quite right to me. Now, different vehicles do have different speeds and weight, and making turns. There's some differences there, but my problem with that is that the differences aren't always realistic, and there's just much better games out there. If you want arcade, I would say a better arcade game is Forza Horizon, and if you want a more sim, even Dirt Rally back in 2016 is a much better game than this, which is odd because this is the same developer, Codemasters. What has changed? How come? Why are they going backwards in the vehicle's look, feel, racing? This is just not a very good attempt at whatever they were trying to do. Now, again, this is not a bad game. I actually did have fun in certain parts, but I really wasn't a fan of the bumper car type physics, if I'm being honest. Coming from, playing Assetto Corsa, Project Cars, this is a downgrade in racing game feel, look, simulation, physics. This is a notch below those games that have been out for several years. So again, this is a recent release. It should feel more modern, but it doesn't. It feels like a really old racer. Electronic Arts Codemasters just dropped support for this game. It took away online mode, and they're still selling this game, which they really shouldn't. So at the end of the day, given all the problems, like I said, the visuals look ugly, the gameplay isn't that great, and then the online stuff doesn't work anymore, I cannot in good conscience recommend this game. And if I have to rate it, I would give it a 4 out of 10. This game should no longer be sold on the Meta Store, and it needs to be taken down.